yo. And wait. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. And wait. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Tell me what you think about Marcus. Tell me what you think about Christ. Made their sacrifice now. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation, all our but foundation. Whoa. Let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate.
Good morning to everyone and welcome back to Policing with You. I am your host, Sergeant Charmaine O'Dane. As we all know, we are celebrating our 25th St. Kitts Music Festival starting this evening, and the security aspect plays a vital role, as we both know, patrons and artists who will be attending locally, regionally and internationally. So we extended our invitation to the music festival security and representative from the traffic department to educate us on the role and responsibility of the security, patrons and other members of the public. I will have my guests introduce themselves. We have Superintendent David, who is representing the Music Festival Committee as a part of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, and Inspector Caroline Phipps from the Traffic Department, who will again tell us about themselves and what is their role when it comes to security for the music festival.
Good morning to everyone, persons listening in Radio Land and on various social media platforms. I am Superintendent Lyndon David, and as mentioned earlier by the host, I am one of the members of the Security Committee for this year's Music Festival, the 25th Music Festival in our Federation. We have implemented a number of security measures, which we will go into later in the program. But I will say at this time, we're encouraging all to comply with the various instructions that are posted around the facility, in and around the facility, and also by individual personal, private security, police and different force members. So thank you very much. Looking forward to have a good program this morning.
Good morning, I'm Inspector Caroline Phipps, Traffic Manager, and my responsibility for this festival is to ensure the free flow of traffic around the perimeter and the parking for this year Music Festival.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Superintendent David, I will start with you. We all know Music Festival starts today.
Yes.
Can you give the listening and viewing audience the dates and time allotted for this event?
Okay, we know that today, Thursday, the 22nd of June, it will be the beginning, and it will end on Saturday, the 24th. The shows will normally start around 7 p.m. However, we know that the gates will be open around 6, so persons can find themselves in the facility in a safe and orderly manner, be seated or find that location in which they can be standing in order to enjoy the music that will be given to them. We are also looking at persons to, when they're entering the gates, to ensure that they have their tickets. Don't come there without a ticket and cause an issue. Comply with the security personnel, go and get the ticket. So the ticket booth will be around by the football stadium there, football ticket booth. They can obtain their tickets there if they did not purchase one prior. We also say to persons that this year there is a twist to the music festival, where we have the 420 atmosphere. And this will, one, it will present some unique challenges for everyone concerned. Some will be positive, some will be negative, but it's just experiencing it for the first night, and then the first night set the tone. So we will have to look at a lot of things. So we are also saying to persons, you will not be allowed into the facility with any form of weapons. Any form of weapons. And if you brought in something that has a legal use, but you're going to use it as a weapon, once it is used, well, it will be taken by the police as forming part of their case.
Thank you so much for that, Superintendent David. Will the music festival be hosted in the same place that it was hosted last year, or is there a new venue for that?
Oh, yes, it will be at Warner Park Football and Cricket Stadium. So let me explain that a little further. The main event, where you have the singing and everybody will be viewing the artists, that will be held on the cricket stadium. And then when we have where you get your drinks and your meals, that will be held over on the football stadium. There will be a screen there for persons who may want to stay a little longer where they can get their drink, so you can stay there and view what is going on on the stage. Also too is that with we are encouraging persons, once they have children with them, to ensure that they have good management of their children, they won't stray and other things.
Thank you so much. Can you explain the layout? I realize you started, for example, the different points of entries for the VIP, the vendors, and the patrons, and the artists.
Okay, in terms of the VIPs, so we look at the VIPs, for example, especially the artists, they will be coming to the Eastern Gate over at East Park Range, and they will have the arrangement for them in that area. So as they enter, they will go behind by the music center, and then they will be utilizing one of the players' facility to change their clothing and so forth. Whereas the medical center will be on the other side. So also too, in terms of the Marathon Gate, we'll have the vendors, they'll be able to come to there to replenish their stock. All persons who are entering, I'm talking about the patrons, they will enter and from the Lozak Road and the main entrance. Everyone will be coming through there. The other VIPs, they will come to some will come through and the Lozak Road side, the main VIP entrance, they will come to there.
Okay.
Yes. And also we have other persons who have vehicular passes. They will come to the main gate at Warner Park and park. If they do not have a pass to enter the facility, they should not make an attempt to enter the facility with their vehicle. Park in one of these designated areas or any place that you feel safe to park your vehicle, and then journey to the venue.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sue. Upon entry as a patron, where am I restricted from?
Okay, the restricted areas will basically be the lounge suites. You also have the back of the stage. You also have the artists dressing room. No one permitted to be there. Persons are permitted to be in the police mobile command post only when there is legitimate reason, like making a complaint or giving information pertaining to a loss of found property. And the stage
Right.
cannot exclude the stage. So the only persons at the stage will be the artists and the other persons who managing the stage. They are permitted to be at the stage, and so we wouldn't want anyone to try to go over the barrier and enter the stage. If you are called up there for whatever reason, well then, but other than that, we are saying to persons, these are the areas you are not allowed to go unless you are duly authorized to do so.
Thank you. Okay, you spoke about the police common post. Can you explain that a little more for the listening and viewing audience?
Okay, we have the police command post, which you could say the temporary police station, very small, so we will not be able to hold prisoners. So anyone can go there and make a report if they have a report to make. If there's a found property, they can go there, take it there. We will have it been announced over the PA system. If someone lost a property, same thing, they can go there, make that report, and we will take it from there. There's another area where the police and others, relevant persons will be there. So we call it the VOC, Venue Operation Center. So we'll have the police, fire, defense force, medical. We have representatives from NEMA. You know, this way we'll have our unified joint command structure in case of an incident that we have decision makers in that area to guide the process of managing that unfortunate situation. But we're praying that none of that will happen, and we are hopeful that God will be with us to ensure that we have no such incidents.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll go to Inspector Phipps. As you noted that you are in charge of the traffic management for that evening, the free flow of traffic. However, tell us about the parking arrangement for the different persons that will be attending this event.
For the 3 days of the music festival activities, parking will be restricted. The Lozak from East Park Range to Hart Street, only VIP or Minister of Government will park in that area. The area for the taxis would be at the Bastia High School, and for the general public is at the Bastia High School.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. We know persons will be leaving their vehicle unsupervised. How can you, or what measures are put in place to ear these, when these concerns are aired or noted by the public for their security of their vehicles?
As indicated, Bastia High School is the parking area designated for the festival, for the 3 days of the music festival, and we'll have officers there parking, and they will be there for the duration of the show. We'll also have our cyclists and mobile patrolling the perimeter of Warner Park.
Of the Bastia High School?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Will there be any patrols in the area as well?
That's what I indicated. We'll have the cyclists and mobile patrol will be, yes. Also, traffic warden and police will be fitted all around the perimeter as well.
Okay, good. What can you tell us about the traffic around Warner Park? Will there be any restrictions, anything that we need to note?
Yes, there's a number of restrictions as regards to the perimeter. Firstly, traffic will flow one way on Victoria Road, that is south to north. Traffic will also flow north to south on East Park Range. Traffic will flow west to east on that road. You know, there's a small road directly behind NHC, so traffic will flow west to east. So it will take you from East Park Range to Wellington Road. However, no parking will be permitted on Victoria Road. That is from Seaton Street all the way up to Moravian on both sides. No parking will be permitted. As if persons drive, they will see we already put that parking restrictions in place from midnight last night. No parking will be allowed on the western side of East Park Range, as that side, that section will be used for bringing in the artists. So no parking is allowed on the western side, and if persons intend to park, please do not block the residents or anybody garage on that street. No parking will be permitted on the football parking lot, as indicated by Superintendent David. That will be the main entrance for patrons to enter the festival area. Also, parking for the general public is at the Bastia High School, and as again I said, parking for the taxis would be at the front portion. If you know where the headmistress office used to be, there, that small section inside there is for the taxis. However, the shuttles and the taxi drivers can drive on Lazark Road and put off their passengers and then carry on. So no parking whatsoever for no shuttles or taxi in on the Lazark Road end. We have already spoken to the residents, and all residents there have been given passes to park. All the other space there are for ministers of government and certain persons who have VIP parking on that street.
Okay, thank you very much, Inspector Phipps. It's a lot. I hope that persons were listening as the restrictions were stated. We will pause for a break now, and afterwards we'll take a few calls.
Looking for the best price on your third-party insurance? Well, look no more. The Insurance Company of the West Indies, ICWI, has the best protection at the best price. With no deductible. Only at ICWI, third-party plus insurance features benefits include windscreen cover and accident forgiveness. What are you waiting for? Click now, icwi.com, or call 465-8753. Visit us today at 1 Seabird Rock in Bastille or Heritage Plaza, Main Street, Charlestown, Nevis.
Do you know that the Cable has a real live customer service representative available every day until 9 p.m.? Just call 465-2588. Calling out of normal office hours? Leave a voicemail and a friendly, reliable Cable rep will call you back. Do you have an urgent request? Or maybe you just want to ask a service question? Call 465-2588 and a service representative will be available to assist you. Or, if you prefer, send an email to customerservice@thecable.biz and someone will get back to you. So remember, the Cable is here for you every day until 9 p.m. Just call 465-2588 or send an email. The Cable, always giving you more where it matters.
And welcome back to Policing with You. I am your host, Sergeant Charmin Odain. With me, I have Superintendent David and Inspector Carleen Phipps, who is a part of the security team for the music festival. I would GQ any calls? Okay, we'll go ahead and educate the public a little more. Miss Phipps, Inspector Phipps, sorry, could you tell us about the emergency access? I know Superintendent David spoke about the emergency teams that would be there, like fire, the ambulance, etc. Tell us if there's a designated area that they will have, or road that they will take during any emergency.
Yes, as it relates to the emergency vehicles, they were, once they exit Warner Park, they would head southwards on Victoria Road, so they would go up and then come around. So the exit road is south to north on Victoria Road.
Okay, we have a call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning. I know you were saying that you want to park up by Victoria Road for the taxi drivers.
Caller, can you speak up? We have
you say you park up the taxi drivers, right? Up by the park, up by the senior high school. Why people leave from Victoria down by the bakery and go up and get a taxi? Most people go down by the Stokers and get a taxi. So we be up here just waiting. Why is everybody going down the road? You can't put a taxi stand up by the junior high school, then there's a private car. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that call. Inspector Phipps, you want to?
Well, that's the designated area for the taxis, and you also can utilize your parking space at the circus as well, sir.
Thank you so much. Inspector Phipps, for that. I want to piggyback a bit when you spoke about the designated areas for parking. If persons breach these restrictions, what happen or what is the procedure?
Once they break these, they could be ticketed or they could be reported for the offense and be prosecuted.
Is there a tow truck? And normally I would see the tow truck around with when it comes to these events.
Yes, we'll have two short trucks company on hand.
And the person, is there a cost, or the government take the cost, or the person?
Once your vehicle is being towed, all cost is on the owner or the driver of that vehicle, and you have to pay that fee before your car is released.
Okay. Inspector Phipps, thank you so much for that. I want also for you to tell us what should we expect after. You know, after the festival is finished, everybody wants to leave. So what is it in place when it comes to the traffic arrangement?
After the event is finished, officers at the different areas, especially the Lozak end and the Victoria end, they will be there to assist, and they will assist the traffic in terms of when it is likely that we could change the directions so that they could have the easy flow of persons getting out easily. So if you are coming from Lozak Road and we see that the traffic will direct you down to 4th Street, likewise at the top of the road. So we'll monitor it, and as it's at its fit, we'll direct the traffic according to get out easily.
Great, thank you so much for that. So Superintendent David, I'm back with you.
Yes.
I want you to tell me the do and don'ts when entering the grounds. You started earlier speaking about weapons and stuff like that.
Yes.
So can you just elaborate a bit so that the listening and viewing audience can be have acknowledgement as to what they should do and what they expected to do and what they expected not to do?
Okay, thank you very much. What will be happening is that persons, they will be entering the gates, there will be different lines. At that same entrance, we have a call, so I will just yield to the caller.
Okay, sorry. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm a guy in a wheelchair, like to go music fest and cricket and all kind of things. Now, I have a van to maintain my wheelchair. There is any way that my van could park to give me easy access in and out?
Yes, caller, your van can, the driver can drive along Lozak Road, and you can enter from that gate, and he can also come back and pick you up from that same location.
Okay, because the last time I went to watch cricket, just to move the barricade for me to go across, and me driver put me off. Cuban want to take the key out the ignition. So you got to talk to them kind of people too. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, welcome.
Caller, thank you so much for that.
Yes. So I was saying to everyone is that though we will be having the entrance gate there will be some persons may have VIP tickets and will be coming to it. So there will be different entrances. Some persons come to there because they will have different stages. So persons, they will enter there. What we are saying to persons as well in terms of licensed firearm holders, we are saying only the police, defense force will have firearms at the compound there, so we ask you to leave it at home or take it to the nearest police station for safekeeping. If you have an office in town, but we are saying you cannot just give it to persons like that who do not have a license. So that would be reckless and careless on your part, and if something happens, you'll be held totally liable or responsible for that. In terms of glass bottles, long poles, and say knives, these things will not be permitted in the venue.
Flip cans.
And flip knives and so forth.
Flip cans.
And flip cans. Flip cans, some people want to flip, they will not be permitted in the venue. Also, too, we are looking for persons to cooperate with the security personnel there at the gate. So, once you enter in, you will be searched. You will be searched. So, we expect that person to comply with the security who will search you rather than giving trouble. You have children with you, ensure that they're with you all the time. We know we see sometimes, but most of the time, try to ensure that you have proper control of them. There is a no re-entry policy. So once you leave, you will not be allowed back into the venue. We know that there are some persons who decide, okay, I don't want to watch it on TV, internet, but I'm going to jump the fence. You know what I mean? So we're saying to you, jumping the fence of Warner Park is an offense. There's an act, legislation that governing Warner Park, and I believe that over the years we let people jump back over, but we will have to charge people for this, because we have to send a message, a deterrence. You jump in the park, it's not just we're going to let you jump back over. We will have to take persons before the court. So we're saying to persons, get your ticket, enter the park in the lawful way, and everything will be okay. Persons who have their tickets, we also encouraging persons to go where you're supposed to go, because we don't in the facility there will be the tourism area. We have persons for Carambola, you know what I mean? So persons for those areas, if the persons who hosting those areas allow you to come, that's different. But if you don't have whatever credential to go there, you're not to go there. So the security will prevent you from entering these areas. The boxes, the street boxes, only persons who are allowed inside there are permitted. Plus we'll have security to enforce this policy to ensure that no one enters. What we will also do to ensure that we have these things happen, we will get a PA announcement to tell persons some of the do's and the don'ts. I believe you were going to ask me this, so wait for you to ask me a question about the new development there. But we're just saying to persons, utilize everything the way ought to. To the bar owners, remember no one to enter with bottles, or you yourselves are not to sell anyone drinks in bottles. Minors, anyone under 18 years old, you should not give them or sell them alcoholic beverages. So we're saying to the bar owners, if you're in doubt, only one way to be sure, ask for an ID. Don't assume, but ask for an ID. And I think that you'll be working in conjunction with the Music Festival Committee and also with the Security Committee.
Thank you so much. You spoke about the knives and the flip cans and stuff like that. When persons are found with this stuff, is there a penalty? Will they be put out, or will these items be just confiscated? What will happen to those persons?
When these things happen, the officers there to communicate with the VAC, and the VAC will make a determination. We can eject the person one time. We can take it away, have that person charged. I mean, let them know that there will be someone for the offense, and we, depending on what the offense is, for weapons and so forth, for sure, you will have to be removed from the venue, and we will take the matter before the court. So someone say should not be in a particular area, but went there and caused a little problem, but then it didn't get too all big and so forth. Well, you can get a stone warning, and if it happen again, whether at that same location or another, and then you can be ejected. And as I said earlier, remember, once you leave the venue, you will not return. So please do not allow yourselves to be ejected from the venue because of these things that you can avoid. Yes.
Okay. Over the years, we have had an issue with the smoking of marijuana. With all the changes from the last music festival, what has been put in place, if anything?
Well, we have a new addition to not just only music festival. I think it would have been yesterday. We would have had or bill, act pertaining to smoking in public places. And so this allows persons who, whether they smoke cigarette, marijuana, what you call them again, e-cigarettes, right, the vapes, not cocaine and crack, marijuana, cigarettes, and vaping. We allow you to do that in an area designated for these persons. So therefore, at the venue we have a section on the Western Mound. It is dubbed high rise, but it falls under the 420 legislation. So therefore, persons will go there, and you will stay in that area and smoke your cigarette, marijuana, or e-cigarette. You should not come out. You come out of there and to smoke, you breach it. You can be ejected. But we're going to take it so seriously that, you know, sometimes you want a man, they work out, they can do it again. Right. So we will have to take a firm stance with this. You leave that area, we're going to eject you. So we want persons. If you're a smoker, like I mentioned, the three things: marijuana, cigarette, e-cigarette. E-cigarette, cigarette, marijuana. Once you're going to smoke those, you must remain in the area that is designated for you. Anyone under the age of 18, we're saying to you, you're still a juvenile, and we do not permit juveniles to smoke, so we will not encourage that. So therefore, we'll have someone located there to ensure if you look like a child, okay, produce your ID. If you can't produce your ID, you will not enter there. You will not enter there. And so therefore, we are saying to persons, they have to be guided accordingly. We are also saying to persons that you may mix it with alcohol. You may have to drive. So we are saying to you, if you know you're driving, best not to consume alcohol and also smoke marijuana at the same time, because they can alter your motor skills. It can give you blurred vision as well. So we are saying to you, we want everybody to be responsible whilst using the road, but we also want you to have fun, but you must do it in a responsible way. So this is what we will say to persons. High rise is an area designated for persons who are smoking the three things I mentioned: the e-cigarette, the cigarette, and marijuana. And the persons are permitted to enter with about, I think it's 4 spliff, if my memory serves me right, 4 spliff. So no one should come there with a big bag strap around his waist and say, well, I have my stuff. No, we're saying to you that though we permit it, we're going to have control, because we know that there could be some, what you call it, side effects.
Right.
And we want persons to reach home safe, and we want persons to have a good time.
So Superintendent David, so I say now that if I leave the high-rise end and go into the general public to smoke, I will be ejected.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We want persons to stay in that designated area. Don't even put your foot. So this the door here. Put your foot outside there. You're peeping around and you big split.
Right.
No. Stay in the designated area. So therefore, if you want to watch the activity 100%, well, do not go with the intention to smoke, because you have to smoke inside here. So if whether or not you can see in the stage, you may have not a perfect glance, or you may not have any glance at it at all, but you can hear it. But we're saying once you intend to smoke, you have to smoke inside there and not outside.
And you're saying persons are allowed to walk with 4 spliff?
So that 4 spliff is amount to the 56 grams.
Yes, that's what I was going.
Well, in terms of that, I don't want a man come with a big spliff like what you call it? A broomstick.
There's where I was going. The size would be of a concern too.
No, but the thing is that you know the normal spliff. That's what the cigarette. So let me put it, the marijuana cigarette. So it's not like you're gonna have a big thing like a broomstick or something. As a matter of fact, I don't see how you will get that in your vehicle. Somebody will cut off piece and you have a problem there. So make it the one that you're accustomed to, the one, something like the pen. Yeah.
That's big.
Well, I really don't know how they do it, how big.
It's very
But
big.
this look kind of a small to me, but you know, you shouldn't come in with something outrageous, you know. It has to fit within the limits as well, because like I said, it can have effects on persons, and we don't want persons to come and mix it with alcohol, and then you have many people pass out and so forth. So we just want persons to come, have a good time and things. So persons have to be reasonable when they are entering with that. Yes.
And consuming of the alcohol and the marijuana and being a driver can
Yes.
also be
Impairment.
very
Yes. So
concerning, because for the other drivers on the road, we've seen a lot of accidents lately.
as you mentioned that, if you permit me,
Sure.
I take this time to tell our drivers, whether it's music festival or not, we have seen a number of traffic accidents. We have seen where all of them can be avoided. You know, drive responsibly, drive within the speed limits on the road. You know, passenger bus drivers, ensure that the vehicles are not overcrowded or overloaded. Ensure that you can maneuver the vehicle at the speed that we say you're supposed to travel. You know, within the village, 20 miles. Outside, 40 miles. And as you go up, is $100 per extra 50 miles. So we are saying to you, remember, the money you make, you shouldn't want to just put it back in a traffic ticket. And also too, everybody expect to return home. So just be cautious. And the truck drivers, we know sometimes when you're going around some corners, as we call them blind corners, you fail to blow your horn, and you're taking up the other piece of you're taking a piece of the other side of the road. So therefore we are asking you to just honk your horn to let person know your presence on the road. And before I sit back for Inspector Phipps to come to, we are also saying to persons who are doing road works, make sure you have proper signage, and the signage is not on site, because sometimes I travel on the road and you will see the sign right there in the road. And I had a discussion earlier with Inspector Phipps about that incident many years ago. I could never forget that. You know, so we want persons, once you're going to do road work, ensure that the signage is at a distance that persons can be forewarned and avoid serious injuries or fatalities on our roads. So thank you for allowing me to bring that part in.
Yes, that was very, very important to also hear and to elaborate on. What are some of the security issues that confronted us last music festival, and what have been put in place so that these things won't be a reoccurrence issue for us?
Okay, some of the security issues we had is where persons would want to enter the facility without paying. You know, we mentioned that.
Yes.
And then we also have some persons with the different credentials will go to a different area, and some persons, though you may have a vehicle pass, you forget it home and the security thing, and you want to, as some people will say, local parlance, you want to bully your way in. So therefore we are saying to persons, if the security tells you, look, hold on, let me call somebody to ascertain whether or not you do have a pass, you should give that person some time. Don't try to make things worse for the person. You know, some people will say, you know, who I am and I could, we don't want that. We just wanted to respect the role of everybody because they have a role. We also had issues where persons, this would be a health and safety measure. I could recall I was in the VAC area. When I looked down, I see the stretcher was taking some people and taking them to the back.
Yes.
So when I went to the medical area, there was a number of persons behind there and beds and so forth. And what it was is that some persons, they claimed that they were drinking and the scent of the marijuana and so forth affected them. And that's why you see we have the high-rise area. Instead of persons being sporadically around the area, you have one area. So therefore, we'll then say, okay, if I can smell marijuana here, I smell cigarette here, and I have allergies, it's best for me to go way down there, upwind as opposed to downwind. So this brings about a change in what we experience there. In terms of in terms of what else we put in place, we look at once you've been ejected, you can't come back in. So we have that ejection as well for persons, and we were taking like a much more serious approach, zero tolerance, so to speak. So that's why we're encouraging persons. You spend your money to go to this facility to have good enjoyment.
Right, yes.
And when I say good enjoyment, it's not just for yourself, good enjoyment for everybody. So if persons are there, we don't expect you to be bouncing up and take your drink in your cup and shaking up on everybody, and they don't want that, you know. And so in terms of dancing and people, we don't get much of that. Like say a lady come and say this fella wind up on me. I can't recall we had anything. You call anything like that? Somebody wind up on me, maybe the one you wind up on me?
Well, that's the beauty of music festival.
So I never heard of one, but maybe it does happen, but they don't report it.
Right.
But we're saying, gentlemen and ladies, if you go to dance with somebody and they reject you, accept the rejection and move on. Don't want to force yourself on people. So I choose this time to mention that because it does happen at dancing areas. So we want persons just be responsible, respect the rights of other people, and I think that it will be a successful event.
Thank you so much, Soup, for that. Okay, as we speak about music festival and all the security measures that are in place, can you tell us or comfort those who are attending these functions, what is put in place in the different districts as security measures also?
Okay, well, in terms of the different districts, we know that based on our instructions given by the commissioner based on the recent upsurge in certain criminal activities, especially the shootings, we have increased the number of patrols that are out there, and so therefore when persons are out, the patrols will be there to ensure that our persons do not interfere with persons' property. And we're saying to the persons who do that, it is time for you to make a shift in your lifestyle. Be gainfully employed, respect the rights of other people, because, you know, even though some of these people steal and somebody steals from them, you know, they make a mountain out of it. So do not do to people what you wouldn't want be done to you. So that's what we are saying. And also persons who are leaving their homes to go to the venue, we're saying to you, put all the necessary security features in place, lock your house properly, ensure that if you have your various technology, put it on, so therefore when you have your phone in your hand, it vibrates, it sends a noise, and you see what's going on at your home, you know. And once you and your neighbor good, and I encourage you to have good neighbors, you just let them know, yo, I wouldn't be there for a certain time and thing. Check your vehicle, entering and leaving the vehicle to ensure that it is locked and in the condition that you left it. And also too is that ensure that you have a buddy system with you. Ensure that you have a buddy system with you. So therefore you can call somebody and say, look, I'm home now. You know, I'm soon there. So at least, you know, persons know that you're safe still. The persons you would have gone to these places. And finally, in terms of, for now to let Inspector Phipps, you mentioned is that also, what we want persons to do in terms of their safety, ensure that you always keep that in mind. Don't take it for granted. Take your security very seriously.
Inspector Phipps, we're going to wrap up now. You guys have any tips that you want to leave with the listening and viewing audience as tonight they plan to go out and enjoy themselves, have fun? So you have any tips that you want to leave with us?
Firstly, I would love for the general public to respect all the police officers, traffic wardens, and to comply with all the traffic restrictions and traffic rules on a whole. If you are going to the fest, get a designated driver, drink responsible. If you cannot drive, get a taxi or other public service vehicle. And also for the public service vehicle drivers, make sure you get enough rest. As we know, the fete will start at 7 and go right down till maybe 4, and rest is very important. And also remember, drink responsible because the life you save can be your very own.
That's right. Sue?
Remember, high rise, no, when under 18 years old, barkeepers do not give or sell alcoholic beverages to anyone under 18 years old. Parents, ensure that your children are well supervised, and at the end of the day, persons who have licensed firearm, remember, you cannot take it into the venue, and the persons who have the various accreditation, ensure you go to the areas that you are permitted to. Do not venture off into areas that you are not, and I do believe that we'll have a successful music festival. Thank you very much, and may God continue to bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Superintendent David and Inspector Phipps, we want to thank you for coming on today with Policing With You. We want to thank you, GQ, for also having me as your host. Thank you for the listening audience and viewing audience. See you next time. Thank you.
In every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think.